Like, so what is the North Face doing now because of the upgrade that they weren't able to do before? How is it impacting their business?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, they publicly, which we're very grateful for, have attributed a 4% increase in store sales
Oh,
to
wow.
deploying our point of sale. I know
Oh,
it's,
geez. Okay.
I know, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Take a
okay.
victory lap.
Yeah.
Exactly. But a couple of the things that they've done. So um, they are paying attention to traffic and deploying store associates with mobile devices to places where there's a high concentration of traffic, which fluctuates throughout the day, right? So
Mhm.
for them, the shoe wall is a really important part of their business. And
I didn't know that.
if they see a lot of people kind of hanging around the shoe wall, then they send a store associate over there so that they can look up and see, oh yeah, we have this in your size, and no, we don't have this in your size, but we can add it to your cart and ship it to you.
Ship it to you.
Mhm.
Starting all of those kinds of conversations. One of the other things they did, which I thought was fascinating, and they talked about the psychology of it too, is they set up during post holiday, they set up a return station right by the front door. So if you're coming in with a bag, then they divert you right away. Oh, are you returning something? You can do that right here, right now. You don't have to stand in any line. And they found that those shoppers actually spend more because they
Right.
feel like they're walking in the store with money already in their pocket, as opposed
Mhm.
to, well, I had to wait in this line and then I finally
Yeah.
got to return and I don't want to get in that line again to buy something. So they, those, it's those kinds of things where they're really pushing their stores to look for those opportunities where you can be untethered from the cash wrap. They even redesigned their cash wrap so that part of it literally can become untethered and they can move it around wherever
I've
they
seen
want
that.
in the store. So all of those things are ideas that came out of the stores that they were encouraging them to think about ways that they can use the solution. So they got their 4% and they were thrilled, but they didn't stop there. They really said, like, but how else can we use this? We can go outside of the store, we can go to the parking lot because we don't have to be on the Wi-Fi in order to transact. They've gone everywhere with it. It's been really great.
Nikki, how much does like the consumer experience? I love that example of, the return station, but like how much is the consumer experience kind of weighing into the like what the North Face or another partner of yours is considering like success in this installment of new POS? Are there any other metrics that they're following or that they're sharing with you?
I'm trying to think of other metrics. I mean, I know, we look at adoption, right?
Yep.
So one of the advantages of a cloud solution is that now we, as the solution provider, have much greater access to how our customers are where they're going in the application and where they're getting hung up or where they're not getting hung up and all of those kinds of things. So, I mean, I know one area where we're seeing a lot more interest and activity and that we're investing in is around that customer data. So
Mm.
I don't want to call it clienteling. Everybody immediately thinks black book, and yes, luxury retailers can use that, but there's a lot of lower level customer interaction, customer
Totally.
information that
Yes.
applies across the board, like universally. And being able to figure out what's the right level of, we have a lot of data, but a store associate doesn't read any more than a store manager does. So you can't, and if the customer's
Even
standing
less.
right there, you can't ask them to page through 10 pages worth of
No.
transaction history to understand the customer while they're
Right.
standing right there. That's never going to happen.
Right.
So how do you distill that stuff down so that you give the right information for the right context and interaction, and do it in a way that makes that customer feel delighted instead of creeped out? So those are the softer standards that we hold ourselves to when we're
Yeah.
designing our interactions in our software, to say, like, it's that customer delight that, you actually
Mhm.
used my data for something that's
Mhm.
valuable to me. I'm
Yeah.
so happy.
Even like you just have my address. Like I gave you
Yes.
my email or my one, or showed you my QR code like in the Nike store and they scan it and they're like, okay, here we go. Like we're just going to ship this to your house. This is your credit card. This is your thing. It's like, yeah,
Yes.
great. I don't need to pull anything out. Wonderful. Like that,
Yes.
that is so valuable as a
Can I
consumer
tell
for
you
sure.
one of the most commented on, which is, to me, is was like, really, okay. one of the most commented on things in our solution is that if you've had your name added to the cart, so that, you know, your loyalty discount or whatever, if you want an email receipt, it pre-populates your email address that's on file. So you don't have to enter anything. You can override it if you want to use a different email address, but the delight of, I don't have to enter my email address, you already knew it and you're using it. And it's like, it's such a small thing, but the points you earn by doing those kinds of things actually are very large.
Yeah.